Hola! Hello! This is Micaela. Sorry, sometimes I'm by error I want to talk to you in Spanish. I'm designing a new top and I'm so excited for it. I will be naming it Sia. Just a second because my cat wants to go on the wheel and make a lot of noise. So, yes, the idea of this top, it will be obviously this will be the front. I will just place it for you like that so you can understand it. So that will be the front, and then it will have very cool an overlapping piece which will come here, will go overlapping like that. Righty. Yeah, something like that will be right. So yes, we'll come over here like that, overlapping it, and the back, it's actually a racer back. It's not very how can I say, it's not very narrow. Yes, it's a little bit wider. And then you will be adding it a strap, obviously. I've the length, the width of this elastic, I mean, you can, it's really up to you. I'll be giving you the measurements of the length needed, but then the width, you can always choose it. In this case, I'm having 4 centimeters. I prefer it slightly thicker, to be honest, for my own taste. And actually, I'm going to show you a trick, right? So you know how much fabric you will actually have to cut for the strap. So you'll be folding it in two, just like that, and you will have to have just about the seam allowance. So this is about 6 millimeters, let's say, really up to a centimeter, if you think you're going to trim that much, right? So this is how to know how much fabric you can cut. In this case, so for this 4 centimeters of fabric, I've cut 9 centimeters width, right, of elastic. Sorry, 4 centimeters of elastic. And obviously the length, I've designed it according to the top and obviously to the side. So what we are going to do, we will begin the construction obviously first on the front piece. And what you will have to do is you will place I'm using the same fabric for the lining, as I prefer it like that. I have quite not a great quality of lining fabric right now, so I'm actually preferring to use the same fabric for front and for lining and main fabric. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pin and stitch. First, I will do a basting stitch, which you later can rip it off or make small cuts through it, just around the neck area. And I will explain you why. As I don't want it to roll down because it will be an invisible stitch. By the way, you can also do this on the regular way, but I know now the fashion is a lot with so-called invisible stitch. So yes, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pin, bast stitch, serge, add elastic as well, and afterwards I will be turning my top, and I will do a cover stitch on the back, on the lining side, like would be sorry, my cat is keep going on the wheel, on the lining side, so the fabric won't be rolling down. I will show you these steps. And once this is done, I will be working on the underarms, yes, and I will be leaving the sides and the bottom part undone, obviously shoulders as well, undone. Next step will be the other front piece, shall we call it front piece number 2. Yes, so the same, I will place lining, let's call it lining, on top of the lycra, right? I'll be placing it like that. And the same, I will be first working on this part, right? Stitch, serge, cover stitch later. And once I've done that, I will be working on the underarms and actually as well in this case on this curvy piece, let's call it like that, curvy part. Yes, I will be just leaving the sides and the little bottom part undone. Then next, in the same time, whilst I will be doing all this, I will be preparing my strap, let's call it like that, my band, my back band, my all around band. What I will be doing, I will be making first a straight stitch just like that over my elastic, and then I will serge this piece, just that for you for the moment, just this, and I will show you then the next steps. For the back piece, I will be first on this part. Actually, I don't mind so much rolling, so what I will be doing, I will be stitching, serging, stitching, serging. So neckline, underarm, I would be, and as well the bottom part I will be leaving just these little bits, and the sides and shoulders undone. I will be showing you in a minute everything I'll be preparing. Okay, so what I did so far, this is my back piece. I've serged, I've added the elastic right everywhere where I told you, and for the moment I will be putting it aside. I didn't yet do the band. I will be doing it later. It's actually not needed right now. It's my last step, and this is my main front piece, let's just call it like that. I've already serged, add the elastic, and as well I did the same thing for my over the top front piece. What I will be doing right now, so this is my front piece, and I know it because since I have the elastic, there is slightly a tinier part which is a little higher, so this is it. What I will be doing right now, I will be unfolding it and I will do a cover stitch just like that right over. Okay, so in case you have a cover stitch, you can use it, you can do, right? Okay, if you don't, then you can do. Okay, so I've managed to sort out my cover stitch machine, and now I'm ready. I will be showing you just this part, right? So what I'm doing, I'm putting already the fabric underneath, right? I will start a little bit slower to see that my machine is actually catching the fabric, and it is. Now I can go a little bit faster. Like I said, you can do this with a zigzag stitch if you wish. So if you have a cover stitch, I highly recommend you do this. And this is my other side. So I always check which is my front and which is my back by it slightly touching the side of the elastic, right? So this would be my other side, and I would actually continue on it since it's so much easier. Perfect. Okay, so for the moment I'm done with this cuff stitch, and I will be explaining you the next steps I'm doing, right? Now, I will be continuing it. Please do remember that this is your front side, okay? So what you will have to do is pin and serge and stitch. This is like the second front piece, right? So you'll be pinning, serging or zigzag stitching all around the underarms and around the little curve, right? You will be leaving the sides, the shoulders, and the little part in the bottom. And the same for the front, the main front piece. This is my front side. I will remember this. I'm going to actually just pin and stitch just the underarms. I will be leaving the sides and the bottom part unstitched. Okay, so I've did already one front piece and I will be serging now the main front piece, adding the elastic, and I just wanted to show you how I do it, right? And what is actually happening. I'm putting the elastic and I'm slightly pulling it, right? Because I don't want that it waves underneath or anything like that. I do have like a guider for the elastic, but in this case, I prefer that it's slightly wavy, so it's more snuggly all around, obviously my body, and I'm trimming it. I will be doing it. So you see it makes like tiny bit of a wave, not too much. So I've been doing it this on the same on the other side, underarm, and then I will be showing you the next steps. Okay, so now the next step will be turning the main front piece on the right side of the fabric. This is gonna take me a tiny bit of a time. Oh. Obviously, you can also use a loop turner since it's something much faster to do. So I will be turning it on the right side. And I'm actually going to use the loop turner. Yeah, the shoulder strap is slightly thin right now, just because there will be actually two shoulder straps. I didn't catch my fabric the right way. All right, now I did. All right, so this is my front, right. Okay, this will be my main front piece, and I'll be actually turning it the same on the right side of the fabric together. And this is gonna be much trickier since it's like quite a small piece to say. I hope I'm doing it right, so I'm not over pulling anything. Yes. And I will be explaining you, once I've turned it, I will explain you what is the next thing to do. All right. I'm getting there. I'm so sorry. It takes time. Yes. So as you see, this is my back part. It will never roll because it's just like kind of too heavy, right? So what we will be doing, actually, you can do a straight stitch over both these parts of shoulder, right? So you can do a straight stitch. You don't necessarily need to unify it just yet, right? You'll be doing it when you'll be introducing them in the back piece, right? And in this particular case, you'll be doing a straight stitch all around and another straight stitch like a basting stitch, so you can hold the fabrics together. So it will be basting stitch, straight stitch, well, straight is always basting, straight stitch, and here as well you will be straight stitch, straight stitch. Yes, once you've straight stitched, next thing you will be doing is actually connecting these parts together. You will be sewing over 4 layers of fabric, right? But it's important you do it. And here as well, the same, you will be connecting it, and as well in the bottom part, because later on you will be introducing your all front piece inside, and you will be stitching the shoulders and these bits of the side, right? And we will be leaving these parts, we will stitch them as well together. And the last, it will be attaching the band, which I will tell you and I will show you how. Right. Okay, so I've did the straight stitches in all the places I should. So next, like I said, we are going to attach these 2 beads together, right? Stitch them together. Perhaps there was like another way to do it, but for me, I think this is like the easiest and the fastest way to do it. And it's a little bit tricky, right? Because you're sewing over 4 layers, and obviously you will want them to be really over on top of each other. Secret is go slow and start a little lower. Don't start right away up. Okay. One little thing which I forgot, which I will actually tell it to you. Oh, my thread is finished. Well, let me put my thread. Okay, so I've added new thread. And yes, this is what I actually wanted to tell you. Something which I forgot, but it's still not yet too late to do it. This straight stitch is actually a basting stitch, and I will be making little cuts through it. Why? Because this will be attached to the band, right? So it needs to be stretchy. It needs to have stretch, okay? So, well, I've attached this they will be attached right in the end afterwards, right? And you will be attaching the other side. Well, I will be attaching the other side. And about the elastic, actually, I wanted to show you this. The elastic, you will be putting it on top of each other, just like that. Yeah, and you will be doing, I will say, a few straight stitches over. Yes, this is your elastic for your band. In case you wish, you can trim, but it's not absolutely necessary. Okay, so I have my front piece just ready to be introduced in the back piece. Yeah, and you will have to pay attention. If you can, I perhaps recommend you to try to stitch perhaps these 2 little parts so they won't move and twist. Why I'd say that? Because you'll have to introduce the whole first piece into the back piece, and we will be stitching this side and this side, right? So I will be actually doing with you, I will try to connect the shoulder pieces. Probably you're seeing my cat as well, who's saying hello. So you see, I try to put it a little bit on top on the other, and I just try to connect it together so it's easy. perfect. You see, it's just a little bit, it's easier that way to connect the shoulders. And I will be doing the same thing on the other side. Perfect. All right, so now having this, we will be introducing it into the back piece. Make sure that your back piece is still turned on the wrong side of the fabric, and I will be pinning this bit, and I will introduce it through here. You'll have to go slow so you're not getting, let's just say, mixed the fabrics up. If there is another way, perhaps there is. I prefer this one because for me it's actually so much faster, and I can control a little bit better how I'm stitching the, well, everything, the shoulder, the sides. I find it much easier. The construction itself of the pattern. Okay, so I just pinned this bit, and now I'm preparing my other side. And just be careful that nothing is twisting. All right, so you can actually pin it just like this. All right, and just go in the other side of the shoulder. Once you have this, then it's a little bit easier because you will only have to add the sides, which is obviously a bigger part. Okay, and now you see you have the sides over here. So the same, I recommend you using a safety pin, and you will be introducing it just like that into all right. Okay, so here's one side. And now it will go the other side carefully, the same way. Big package. All right. You see, you have to sew over a lot of layers. So shoulders, sides, you'll have to leave this unstitched. This one has to be unstitched. You will be turning your top through one of these holes, and afterwards we will do a basting stitch and we will attach the band. The band, before I recommended you to do it in another way. I'll be showing you the right way how to do it because I forgot actually about the beautiful curve in the back, so it's a different construction. So do the shoulders and the sides, leave the little holes unstitched. Okay, so I've got my top ready ready to rock. Now you will have to turn all your top through one of these little holes, right? Please do it carefully as you don't want to damage your obviously your hole and your fabric as well. So turn it carefully. Oh, all right, here we have it. Okay, so I've turned it. I've got my construction already in place. Any little threads you see in this moment, it's a good moment to trim, to cut, especially in the shoulders. So I'll be turning it on my right side. This is my right side of my top. Right side. So I have here my shoulders cut, serged. And next I will do is I will make a little bust stitch over this little piece in the back, right? And the construction of the band. This is a quite tricky step, but I'm sure you can do it. So first what I'm going to do, on the right side of the fabric, I will be doing a straight stitch all over the elastic, right? To attach the elastic. In case you don't want to attach the elastic, then you don't need this. But if you do, this is the first thing you should do. Then make little cuts through so you can allow, obviously, the elasticity, okay? And then next it will be adding this side of the band, this part of the band, to your top. So what you will do, remember, this is your front. You have to front on front. So you will be going all around like this. Very important, obviously, to divide so you know which is your half of your band. So this would be matching with this part in the middle over here. So you will be pinning and stitching all around. Obviously, you will be having this empty space, which I recommend you, if you have a serger or a zigzag stitch, I recommend you to keep going over it, okay? But pinning it first, so it's you don't leave like loose fabric in between, right? So pinning before, it's really, really important. So you'll be pinning it, right? That you have the right measurements when it comes to this empty space, okay? And then you'll be doing first a basting stitch and then a zigzag stitch all around. I will be serging it, okay? And then I will be showing you how we will turn the band over and do the zigzag stitch or the cover stitch over. So I will be doing this little bit here, right? And then I'll prepare my elastic and I will be showing you how I pin my top. Okay, so now I'm busy actually pinning the band. As you see, I kind of like introduce the top facing right side of the fabric together, and I'm pinning and I'm stretching tiny bit my my band fabric, right? Because it's actually a little bit smaller than the top, yeah, as it should be. So I'm stretching it a little bit, okay? And now this is my back side. So the only thing I can do actually is just having make sure that it's pinned over here, okay? And it's pinned over here. Next I will do, since my fabric is not slippery, I will immediately serge it, yes. If your fabric is not as friendly as mine, I recommend to do first a basting stitch, make little cuts through, and then a zigzag stitch or serging it, yes. But I will go directly onto it. And you can see exactly how I'm doing it. You see, I'm starting here where the seam is, and it's very important that I'm actually matching the seam, okay? So seam over here, and we are going put this under because I prefer it that way. All right. Sorry. So you see, whilst I'm serging, I'm actually slightly pulling a little bit obviously my band fabric. And I will be going all around because it's going to be so much easier afterwards to connect the pieces. Right. This is our very last step. Very important step. So you see in this right moment, obviously you have the last piece. So what you will be doing, it's actually folding it inside and once more over. Let me see if I've explained myself good. Sorry, I will take this away. This is my front piece. It's easier to see it. So this is our band, right? And this is the elastic. You'll be folding it inside and once over, okay? And then you will be matching it with the other seam, which we just did, okay? As well, really important right now, pinning is important, so you're not twisting the fabric inside. So just like that, I'm preparing it. Okay, so as usually I always start with the seam. I will be pinning it again on the seam side. Because this is where I'll be starting obviously to cover stitch or to serge. Yes, depends. Sorry, to top stitch, zigzag stitch, or to cover stitch, depends what you have, what sew machine you have. So you see, I'm actually just going, pinning it, preparing it to make sure that my fabric is not twisting meanwhile, so it will stay always in place. Okay, and the same here. You will be twisting it. This is a little bit tricky, right? Because you will be twisting it, so you'll have to go slow. For this step, secret is go slow. So you twist and then pin. You twist this little bit and then you'll pin it together. So you see, I've got a little bit of fabric, a little bit like out of place. So probably somewhere on the way I've stretched it. It's not a problem. I will be adjusting it in a minute. And I just wanted to tell you what you have to pay attention to. What you have to pay attention is, of course, on what is your right side of the band. So this right here is your right side of the band. If you zigzag stitch, it's so easy, right? But if you cover stitch, you will have to twist this bit over, okay? Let me see. Yeah, you will have to bring this this bit over, okay, and make sure that it matches obviously with your elastic, right? So especially in this part where you have this little gap, you will have to go slow, right, and try not to rush over the process, that you're not unfolding these bits so that they remain perfectly aligned together. And obviously on this side you'll have to feel it with your fingers and then you keep going. If you do a zigzag stitch, it's so much easier. You will be just working on this side, okay, and you will be making sure that you are just going over, and when you get to the kind of like the empty part, just make sure that this bit is already turned just like that, and keep going doing the zigzag. Okay, so this is my last step, the band attaching, and I will be doing it with you. Like I said, this part is my front of the top, and this bit, it's my back, okay, and this is the right side of the fabric. The one which is coming over is on the other side. If you have obviously any other sorry, any other technique, I support doing another technique. This is the technique I've been using. It's working really good for me, so I'm comfortable with it. So I will be starting more or less near the stitch, and have in mind that I'm going quite